Today will be a day to remember for the rest of your life. The Pro Football Hall of Fame is excited to present the heart of a Hall of Famer program connected by Extreme Networks. With over 100 Hall of Famers participating, we have reached 47 states and countries all over the world, sharing the message that football is more than a game and can teach Americans important life values like commitment, integrity, courage, respect, and honesty.
You have to make right decisions even when nobody's watching you.
Well, respect is not just given out. It's not handed out like a brochure. It's earned.
Today, you are presented with an opportunity to meet and learn from one of the greatest football players of all time. But more important than that, the chance to see that their Hall of Fame life wasn't given to them. They didn't roll out the bed great. They put the work in, on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, in their communities. They made themselves a Hall of Famer on and off the field.
Your feet can't take you where your mind's never been.
Because you can make it, but it's just gonna take a little hard work and some effort and the drive and determination.
And today, you will learn you can do the same thing they did. You don't have to have a gold jacket or a bronze bust to make a difference in the lives of others. It's your decision whether you want to be a successful student, son, daughter, brother, or sister.
If attitudes are contagious, is your attitude worth catching?
It's integrity as well, because when you decide to pursue something and you don't quit, that says a lot about you.
Commitment to excellence. We can all aspire to be the best.
Welcome to a once-in-a-lifetime program, the heart of a Hall of Famer program, connected by Extreme Networks.
To the men on the stage and those who are no longer with us or could not be here, I thank you guys. For it is you who laid the foundation of the game that I love so much. I wanted to be like you guys. Men like Dwight Stephenson, Mike Webster, Jim Motto, and Anthony Munoz.
When I think about this award and how great this award is, I realize, and Coach Schuler, you did give away my speech. Believe me, I did not get here by myself. I had a lot of help along the way. And to achieve this great award is just unbelievable. It's something that I never ever thought about or ever dreamed about. Coming into the National Football League, I really came in there just hoping to be on a football team, then hoping to stay around for a little while. But things worked out as they did, and like I said, I did, and some things, pretty good things happened for me in the National Football League. And again, I just thank God for them. And also, right now, as far as my work ethics and things like that, it helping me to become the person that I am today.
All right, with that, I'd like to welcome everybody to Forest Hill Community High School here in West Palm Beach, Florida. And as somebody who's from Northeast Ohio in January, pumped to be here right now.
Right.
Left a bunch of snow and there's no snow here.
Yes,
so for our latest installment of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's Heart of a Hall of Famer series, today featuring this gentleman sitting beside me, Hall of Famer Mr. Dwight Stephenson. As always, my name is Jake Ray. I'm the Youth Education and Leadership Manager at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I get the fortunate ability to be in this seat and talk with all of our Hall of Famers, specifically Mr. Stephenson today. Before we get started, a little bit about us at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's our mission to honor the greatest of the game, to preserve its history, to promote its values, and to celebrate excellence together. And those values, we promote those of commitment, integrity, courage, respect, honesty, all of which made this gentleman right here a very, very good football player, but also made him a great person off the field, can make all of our students who are tuned in today great students. These values are very, very important, and we're going to hear how they impacted our special guest career today. Before we get started, though, I do have some thank yous I'd like to pass out. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our great partners at Extreme Networks for everything they do for us at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, specifically for this program. Without their support, we wouldn't have the ability to be sitting here. Students all over the country, the thousands of students who get to be a part of this program, wouldn't have the ability to hear from our Hall of Famers. So to Extreme Networks, thank you very much. I'd like to also thank our teachers, educators, anybody that shared this program with their students today who are tuned in, and specifically Mr. Grad, Coach Grad, and all the students and staff here at Forest Hill High School for allowing us to interrupt their school day walk into their school and have their students be here today. So special thanks to all of them. Lastly, I have to thank our students. Without our students here, this is just a program of two guys sitting up here talking. Students, you have the ability to ask questions today. It's not every day you get the ability to ask questions directly to a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So definitely take advantage of the opportunity here today. No matter where you are, whether you're watching us live in person here, we got a great group in front of us, or you're watching us remotely or live on YouTube, make sure if you share it on social media, make sure you tag at Pro Football HOF and at Extreme Networks, and use the hashtag HOF values, and your post just might be reshared. So that's enough of me talking. I'd like to turn things over, and let's give a special welcome to a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Dwight Stephenson.
Thank you. Thank you.
First off, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here. And I want to start off with, we talked about those values: commitment, integrity, courage, respect, and honesty. Of all those values, is there one that you find more important in your career, or is it kind of, I like to say, it's like a team? Do they all kind of work together to make you the best football player and person you can be?
I guess, I mean, all of them are very, very important. And I find that the guys, the other members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in some way talk about those same values, which I find to be very, very important, especially if you're going to be successful. Commitment and dedication is probably one that stands out to me as the one or a couple that really mean a lot to me. All of them mean a lot to me, but those two right there, is something when I start something, I mean, I don't quit on it. I don't believe in, I don't even use the word quit. I took that out of my vocabulary a long time ago, and I know I done said it about 2 times up here, but that's a word that I really never, ever wanted to use and stuff. My father would always tell me, if you start something, you have to finish it. And that's something that I learned very early on, and that's something I thought was a good practice. So when I went to, when I went out to play football in high school and other sports, I wanted to be the best. I had a goal in mind of trying to be the best player out there that was possible. And so that was my commitment. And so I never did quit on it. And then from there, to go to the University of Alabama and play there for Coach Paul Bear Bryant, and then come down to the Miami Dolphins. It was just something that I always strive to try to be the best player I could be, and dedicated myself to being that.
Well, we appreciate that. It obviously made you a great football player, but can you talk a little bit about how those values help you in your everyday life? Obviously, we got a lot of students sitting in front of us today, and
right.
Those values helped you in your football career, but how do they help you off the field, those values you learn from the game of football?
I mean, the same values that help me on the football field are going to be the same ones that have helped me and carry me through life. I'm in the construction business. A little bit before that, but I was playing on Monday night. We were playing the New York Jets. I was with the Miami Dolphins, and at that time, we were doing pretty good. The game was under control, and we were just trying to get the game over with. And probably about 5 minutes to go, I sustained a very serious knee injury and brought my career to an end. So at that point, I had to, I didn't think my career was over with at all. I thought I'd probably play again. I thought with some hard work and dedication and so forth and so on, I'd be able to play again. But God had another plan. And so that's not the way it worked out. Part of the following year, I had to retire. So I retired from pro football, but life goes on. I still had to continue. Yeah, I still had to have the dedication and the commitment and those kind of things at trying to accomplish my goals in life. So I'm in the construction business now, and that's what I do. And we do that every day. We do a lot of work. Forest Hill High School. I'm not sure if we've done work here, but we've done a lot of work up here in Palm Beach County on many schools and stuff. So, but I still have the dedication. I want quality. I want to do a great job for the owners. I want us to be committed to getting our schedule finished on time and being dedicated to to being the best construction company that we can be. So I still practice what helped me in football is what still helps us as a company today. And that's my approach.
So main lesson out of that is, these life lessons you're learning as high school athletes, maybe college athletes, and maybe one day a professional athlete, they don't go away. We always talk about how you learn something new every day. Well, it's the same thing with values. These values are going to be important in your lives day in and day out, just like you heard there. So normally we wait a little bit in the program, but I think it's a good time right now. We mentioned at the beginning what our value or what our mission is, honor the greatest of the game, preserve its history, and promote its values and celebrate excellence together. And obviously we're here to honor your legacy and anybody who's made a difference in the game of football. But the idea about preserving history. And we thought, what better way to show that than go live to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We've got the Director of Youth Education and Leadership, Jerry Shockey, in what might be the coolest room that we have in the entire museum. And Dwight, you're going to see something that looks fairly familiar to you here. So Jerry, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. All righty. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Dwight, for being here today. Thank you to all the students that are connected in here from all across the country, those that are live there at the high school, at school, and then those that are tuning in via Zoom, those that are on YouTube Live. Thank you for connecting in here today. And as Jake said, I mean, this is the most exciting gallery here at the Hall of Fame. As I look around, the greatest football players, coaches, and contributors to ever be part of the game. And I want to give you guys an idea just how elite, if you will, that these men are here that are in here in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So think about this just for a second. Since the game has been played at all levels, Little League, middle school, high school, college, the NFL, there have been about 300 million that have played the game throughout its history. Okay, take that a step further into college. Historically, there have been about 5 million college football players. Take that a step further. In the NFL, there have been roughly about 29,000 people that have been paid to play, coach, or officiate the game of football. And today, there are only 378 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So it gives you an idea of just how big of an honor it is when you get enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And the level of commitment of the gentlemen that you have in front of you that you get to interact with, in any industry, whether they're the greatest football player, the greatest doctor, the greatest teacher, the greatest pastor, whatever it might be, there are things that you can glean from people that achieve the highest level in any chosen profession. And you have that opportunity to do that here today. But, as I look around here, one of the things that comes to mind when I think of like this room, I just think of legacy, what you want your legacy to be. And so, Dwight, my question to you is kind of a twofold question is, first of all, can you define what your definition is of legacy? And then, what do you want to be remembered for as well when you think about your legacy, not only in sports and your career, but in life in general?
I guess the legacy of something that I would like to be affiliated with or connected with would be that I did everything I could to try to be the best player or the best person that I could be and stuff. And I want to help the other people around me. I think everybody in life, no matter who you are, everybody gets help. Everybody is, you don't get anywhere by yourself. I played with some great players. I played with some great coaches. I played for some great coaches. So my legacy is that I try to be the best player that I could be, the best individual I could be, the best businessman, whatever I'm trying to do in life. I want to try to be the best and help make the other people around me better too as well. So.
And if I can just jump in for one more question, Jake, if you don't mind, because he talked about needing help. And that's such a concept here today that we do a lot of programming across our region and whatnot. And a lot of times schools want us to talk about to our young people about being willing to ask for help and how help is not, a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength when you can identify your weaknesses and ask for help. Can you talk with the young people there about how important asking for help has been throughout your career, personally and professionally?
Right. It's just like anything else. I mean, the weightlifting, when I first got to Alabama, I got to college, it's not something that I did a whole lot of. But I had other teammates and whatnot that they had been doing weightlifting for a while. And so I got to kind of hang with them, and they taught me how to do weightlifting, that sort of thing. And weightlifting for offensive linemen is very, very important. So they helped make me a better player by helping me do my weightlifting and whatnot. But I think I probably helped my other teammates by being helping them maybe something that I was strong at, better at, or stronger at. And that was one thing I had was good quickness. So we worked on quickness and that sort of thing, trying to be the quickest football player I could be. So those kind of things, we just help one another get better and stuff. And that's the kind of help that I'm talking about. You're not letting them do the work. You got to do your part. And but help other people around you too be the best player or the best person that they could be.
All right, thank you, Dwight. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the students there, and enjoy the day. Jake, I'm sending it back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jerry. I hope you, first of all, and all of our students enjoyed that look into the Pro Football Hall of Fame there, a little behind the scenes action and get to see what we do at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So with that, we're here. Students are going to have some questions. So we're going to turn things over to the students in front of us here for some questions. So does anybody here at Forest Hill have a question? Don't be shy. This is your, go ahead. What advice can you give young folks here watching or in front of us? Advice on how to develop their character?
A very good question. Very good question. And the kind of things that I'm talking about, like being dedicated to something, not quitting on things, helping other people, and then in turn they'll help you too be the best player and best person that you could be. But those are the kind of things I think are very important in the character building. Don't look that something gets a little hard and then you say, I really don't want to do this. I mean, you got to push through those tough times. It's going to be something it's not going to come easy, but those are the kind of things that you try to stick to. And then, and when you get through, you're going to be stronger and you'll be better. And then you move on to another tough area. It's not like life gets easier. It's going to be like I've heard some other people say, you learn how to handle tough things better. Because life is always going to be some challenges there. And those tough things, you just handle better. I mean, it helps you as an individual, helps you grow as a person. That's all good. So.
Awesome. All right. We got another question from our students here at Forest Hill. Go ahead. Raise your hand. Go ahead. What character qualities do you think it takes to be a Hall of Fame player?
One of the things I found with that was common, and again, that's a very good question. That was common amongst all the guys, if not most. I mean, for sure, most of the guys, if not all the guys, and that is that these guys, they know they didn't get there by themselves. That they had help. They've had good coaches, players, and it takes a lot to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's something that I don't think most guys probably start out. They probably start out trying to just make the football team. And then after that, they say, hey, well, maybe they can be maybe an all-state player. And from there, then they go into college and then play professionally. And some of the guys that are playing today, and I see some of how these players have developed. It's just amazing to see how good they are and stuff. But I've seen some guys that they just developed and try to be the best player they could be, and they were dedicated to the game. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for that question. We got another question here at Forest Hill. Yep, go here. Go ahead.
How important do you feel accountability is on and off the field?
How important do you think accountability is on and off the field?
Accountability, again, great question. Accountability is very, very important. And it's going to be important in football on the field, and it'll be important also off the field. Just like what I do today. I mean, I have to be accountable to the company or to my teammates now at the company that I'm involved with. And when I was playing with the Miami Dolphins, I was playing in pro football. I'm the center, so as a center, I had certain responsibilities. I got two guards, and they had responsibility and they had accountability. So we depended on one another. And as an offensive lineman, you really do have to have real accountability, because if one guy messes up on the offensive line, it probably messes up for the whole team. But so accountability is very important. They need to be able to count on myself, and I need to be able to count on them. And every once in a while, you're going to have a breakdown where somebody, for whatever reason, things may not go well, or they forget their assignment or something like that. That might happen. But for the most part, they're trying to do the best, be the best player they can be, and I'm trying to be the best player. We stand a good chance of winning.
Awesome. Those are all great questions. Now, you've seen all of our students, everybody here got to see the live shot from the museum there, and got to see through a big screen. One of the cool things that you are awarded when you're inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you get the bronze bust that's going to be in Canton, Ohio until the Hall of Fame. I mean, forever and ever and ever. But you also get two other items, one of which you're wearing right now. You get the Hager gold jacket, and you get the K Jewelers Ring of Excellence. And I want to talk first about that K Jewelers Ring of Excellence, being able to have that in your on your dresser, whenever you want to go out, to be able to throw it on. What does that ring symbolize to you?
That ring symbolizes, quality. Just something that's that, it's hard to describe, but it's something that, that in life, to be able to wear that ring and then show it and show my family and show my other teammates and stuff is something that's very, very special to me and stuff. It really stands for a lot. It represents my whole football career. So something that's very special to me.
So you've got the ring, but you also got the Hager gold jacket. So I want to talk a little bit about what that means. More specifically, if you open your jacket here, you've got the individualized name and number on the inside. What's it mean to have that and know you're that number Hall of Famer every day when you wake up?
It is, and that's something that's very, very special to me. I'm number 194 that went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Before myself, there was only 193 people that went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And you heard it explain how the millions of players that started out playing football. And I'm only one of the 100. I'm the 194th player to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's really, really special. And to have this gold jacket is something that is recognizable throughout the country. It's something I'm very proud to wear. And just being number 194, that's really special.
So those are, all are, real individual accolades. Obviously, you had a lot of team success, but there was another award that you won that I know we got Nathan Martin, who's a youth education leadership coordinator back at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's been dying to ask about. So Nathan, I know you got a question ready, so I'm going to throw it to you whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jake. And Mr. Stephenson, thank you for being a part of the program with us this afternoon. Really appreciate that and all the advice you're giving the students. And Jake's right. We do our research before here. We saw in 1985, you can remember back to 85, the Chicago Bears were out there shuffling around. You guys actually beat that Chicago Bears team. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But you were awarded the NFL Man of the Year award that year. Later, it's been rebranded and named in honor of Walter Payton. What did it mean to you to be recognized as the NFL Man of the Year? And maybe for the students that don't know, why did you earn that award? Why were you selected? How do they choose the winner of that award each year?
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to explain that. And the NFL Man of the Year award is the two-pronged, award. You get awarded. It's an award that you win because of what you do on the field, but it's also what you do off the field. So on the field, you can be a great player and things go well and stuff, but you also have to do things in the community. And that's something that's very, very important. And ever since I can remember, my mother and my father, they always stressed to us, like help your neighbors and work together and so forth and so on. And then when I got the chance to play in the National Football League, I thought it was just a great platform to be able to use my career of football to help raise funds and to do some good things in the community. So we formed our foundation, which is the Dwight Stephenson Foundation. We raise funds for our foundation so that we can do things in the community. But that award was named after a great player named Walter Payton. He was an outstanding running back. He was number 34 for the Chicago Bears. And he was the guy, he raised the level of the running backs in the National Football League. Just a great individual, and he did great things in the community. So it's appropriate that that is named the Walter Payton Award. So,
and you're one of those gentlemen that have been lucky enough to have that award and receive that award. And here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year, we're super excited. Throughout 2025, we've got a new exhibit, and it's just titled Character. And I know one of the students already asked you about character and what you can learn from the game of football. Can you maybe expound a little bit about how important it is to have a good character, not just as a football player, but as a brother, a sister, a son, daughter, whatever our role is in life, we're all a part of teams, and it's important that we have great teammates with great character. So can you maybe expound a little bit about why it's important to have great character?
Yeah. Character is something that, again, and appreciate you asking me that question. It's something that's very important. And to have good character, you have to you work at it. It's not something that that you just do what you want to do. You have to care about people. You have to care about yourself. And but character is something even in the tough situations and stuff. Coach Brian, some of the coaches that I played for, they would tell me, well, anybody can lose control and that sort of thing, and not show your class and that sort of thing. But it takes character to go out there when things aren't going well on that football field out there, and things you might not be doing as well as you like to do. It takes character to continue to work at it. It takes character to not give up. It makes you stronger. And character is just so important and very, very important. And I see that most of the guys in the National Football League, and especially in the Hall of Fame, the guys have good character. And so I kind of, when I first got there, it was interesting to see some of the guys that I looked up to and I admired. And I would see like Carl Eller, Alan Page and those guys, and they had good character. I never heard bad things about them, them getting involved with things that they had no business getting involved with. They showed their class along the way and showed character. And that's something that's, that everybody can work at. I mean, and that is have good character.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And like you said, it doesn't matter whether or not you're a Pro Football Hall of Famer or you're just a student at Forest Hill High School. We all can have good character. So thank you again, Mr. Stephenson.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan, for those questions. And I want to kind of pivot off what you talked about there, looking up to guys like Carl Eller and Alan Page. We talked a little bit about, obviously, a lot about the values, and one of the core values of the Hall of Fame is respect. And obviously, you're going to respect your opponent and other players in the league when you're playing. But I want to focus on, that respect level of being a fellow Hall of Famer. So for those of you that don't know, every August we have our enshrinement ceremony in Canton, Ohio, when we induct a new class. So make sure you're staying tuned. Thursday before the Super Bowl, we're going to announce our class of 2025. Got some great names that could be potential Hall of Famers. New teammates for you.
Yep.
But during that week, there's a luncheon called the Nitschke Luncheon, and it's only for Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame staff, media, even our president at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're not allowed in the room. If you have a gold jacket, you can be at that luncheon, and it's only for Hall of Famers. So I want to talk a little bit about that level of respect in that room, and maybe that first time you walked in and there's 180, 100 plus Hall of Famers. Nowadays, there's 100 plus guys coming back. What's the level of respect like in that room amongst all the Hall of Famers?
Right. When you first respect is something that you learn when you first get involved with football, even on a lower level. But definitely when I came into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, respect was a big deal. It's not like it's something that's just given to you when you walk through the door. It's not something that but you see the guys that are there. I had guys like Larry Little and Bob Kuchenberg and Ed Newman and those guys, and I looked up to those guys and stuff. But they had the respect of the community. They had the respect of the other teammates and whatnot. So I didn't come in there. I'm Dwight. Like I was Dwight Stephenson, I was the new high round draft choice and so forth and so on. And you guys had to show me, it was the other way around. I had all the respect in the world for those guys because they had done what I'm trying to do, and that is to make it in the National Football League. And those guys right there, they didn't go around pushing and telling people that they weren't, that they deserved this respect. They earned the respect, and we gave them the respect. So I still have respect for those guys and the guys that have come. The game is a great game, and the game didn't become great overnight. It came because of the sacrifices and the hard work of the people that was there before I got there and stuff. And some guys got there before they got there. But the respect of the National Football League is something that is very, very, very important. And so respect is a big deal. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, as we mentioned before, not only do we have students here in front of us, we also have some students tuning in remotely. So we're going to go to North Ridgeville Academy for our next question. So our folks there at North Ridgeville, go ahead and unmute your microphone, have a student step up, and then go ahead with their question.
What team or player was the hardest to go against in your college and NFL career?
Oh, okay. Now I tell you, it's a lot of great players and stuff, and the guys that I have a lot of respect for, and it's guys that played that went up against on a regular basis. At the time was probably Howie Long. He's one of the greatest defensive linemen that I played against and stuff, and just a great all-around athlete. He could do a lot of things. He was very strong, very quick, and smart player. Then you get guys like Joe Klecko. I mean, he was quite a defensive lineman. He played on the outside at defensive end, but they also came in the middle, did defensive tackle, and did a great job. And he's in both of those guys in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Both of those guys are strong character, good guys, and you see how he's on TV and stuff. And you guys hear some great players come out of here. I mean, OJ Anderson, he's from here. I don't know if you guys should know him. He played for the New York Giants and did a great job. He's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he was a great player and stuff. So just wanted to mention him. He's a Falcon. So
want to talk a little bit. We talked about the end of your career, obviously becoming a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, some of the awards you won. But I want to talk about that first moment, that welcome to the NFL moment. Was there a moment that stood out to you, whether it was the first time in practice, maybe a guy that's now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame lined up across from you? Yeah. Was there a moment when you realized that this was the real deal, your welcome to the NFL moment?
When you get there, my welcoming to the NFL, I mean, it wasn't as smooth as I would like to have been. I came there and I'm an offensive lineman. Offensive lineman, that's probably a position that takes a little more time to develop than that per se a running back or wide receiver. So I came in there and I went to school. They took me to school and I jump off sides, because I didn't know exactly what I was, the plays as well as I needed to know them. And I got to know them though. But at first, it doesn't take but a split second to take your mind off what you're focusing on there. And you hear a sound and you think it might be time to snap the ball and you might jump off sides. But it made me better. And I got to the point where I was just eliminating, instead of making 3 mistakes a day, I was getting it down to maybe 2 mistakes. And then I got it down to 1 mistake. Then I got down to pretty much, I didn't have mental errors. So I knew what I was doing. And then at that point, I started working even more on my physical abilities and stuff. I wanted to come off the ball as an offensive lineman. Quickness is a big deal. So I work on my quickness and as well as my power. Just each day trying to be the best player and get better at each day of what I was trying to accomplish there.
So obviously a lot of success throughout your career. And with that success comes, being in the spotlight. Now, as an offensive lineman, usually you're only in the spotlight if you do something wrong. But nonetheless, still some spotlight. I think would be a great message for students here and anybody who's watching this, when that success and that spotlight comes, how important is it to remain humble? And what are some skills or techniques you can do or students can do to remain humble when that success comes?
Right. I mean, being in the spotlight and that sort of thing is something that's very, very important. But as an offensive line, you mentioned, we may not be in the spotlight that often. And unless we do something like jump off sides or get called for holding. But I think where we do get recognized, and that is our teammates, they give us recognition and they talk about us and they tell us that they appreciate it. I played with a guy by the name of Dan Marino. He's also in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he was one of the guys, he's one of the hardest working guys out there. He was a physical guy. But I mean, he let us know as an offensive lineman that he appreciated us. Now he broke all kinds of records, but he was the one that was, he got a lot of the credit. He deserved a lot of the credit. But as an offensive lineman, we kind of understand when we put our hands down in the dirt that we were not going to get a lot of that. So, and being humble and that sort of thing is something that, as an offensive lineman, you learn how to be and that sort of thing. But you get appreciation from the guys that the running backs as well as the wide receivers and the quarterbacks. It's important that they realize that we're part of them being successful.
So obviously with success comes some adversity, some failure. So what are some things that you did when you're on top of the mountain, all of a sudden you're all the way back at the bottom?
Yeah.
When you got down to that bottom of that mountain, what were some of the things you did to regain your confidence when that adversity or tough times, came across?
It was, again, starting all over. Like when I came out of college, I mean, I was, the high round or second round draft choice of the Dolphins. I came to, and in college, I got to the point where I didn't necessarily, I mean, I felt pretty good about where I was in my development. I thought I was a pretty good offensive lineman, pretty good college football player. Then when I got to the pros and I get there and I'm not sure of everything I'm doing, all of a sudden I'm not that good. I was worried about being the first, second round draft choice that got cut that year. So I was more concentrating on, okay, what do I need to do in order to, so that I can make this football team? And I did. I just kind of I evaluated myself, looked at myself and that sort of thing. I don't go out and I didn't make any mistakes or anything like that, or blame someone else for my things that were not going well for me. I knew that it was going to take hard work. I knew it was a sacrifice. I knew it was a big deal to make the football team. So I didn't expect it to be easy. So again, starting all over again, I had to go back and recalculate and say, okay, this is how I'm going to approach things and try to eliminate the mistakes and try to get stronger at the things in each area, but certain things that I was very weak in and not good at, really work on those areas. And then the things I was pretty good at, try to still continue to get better at those things. And just it's a process. And the process is you're going to have a tough time. Those tough times are going to make you better. And those tough times, you can't get frustrated and give up or not show your class. You got to play through those tough times, and you will get there. Believe me, you'll get there.
Awesome. That's I think that's a lot of great information for all of our students and teachers and me, anybody else watching this program. Like we mentioned before, learning never stops. No. Whether you're in high school, college, career, sport, whatever it might be, there's always more information you can learn.
Right.
We got some a little bit of extra time here, so we're actually gonna go back to our school at North Ridgeville for another question.
Okay.
So our folks there at North Ridgeville, if somebody else has a question, go ahead and have your students stand up, walk up to the microphone, and then go ahead with your question.
What encouraged you to be in the NFL?
Great question. What encouraged you to become a star in the NFL?
Great question. What encouraged me? I mean, when I was coming up, I wanted to play. I wanted to play pro basketball. I wanted to be a basketball player. And that kind of helped me, it helped me with my quickness and my agilities and stuff and things like that. So but when I got to the 10th grade, I pretty much switched from basketball to football. And my high school coach, he's football coach. He saw me on the basketball court and he thought I would be a better football player than I would be a basketball player. And so he taught me into coming out, and I did in the 11th grade. I came out and I was able to make the team, and I started right away. So I was I had pretty good physical ability. I didn't know exactly what I was doing out there as a player. But then from there, and I was fortunate, I got a scholarship to the University of Alabama. And, again, not until my junior year did I think about the Pro Football Hall of Fame, about pro football. But at that point, it was then okay, I wanted to play professional football. I thought it was a great, great opportunity. And I didn't want to not make the most of it or get done with it and say, oh, I could have did this, I could have done that, or injury or something that kept me from doing it. But I had the opportunity, and I wanted to try to make the most of it. So I guess probably when my junior year, I kind of made that commitment to try to be to make it into into the National Football League. And then I was blessed, God, and some things happened, and I was able to get in there and stuff. I was drafted by the Miami Dolphins in the second round, and but it was a great opportunity, and I'm glad I was able to experience it.
Awesome. 2 years of high school football.
Yeah,
that's it.
2 years.
Wow, that's impressive. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, and it shows your dedication.
Yeah.
And and not you were behind the 8 ball pretty much. You got other guys who played 6, 7, 8 years of football. You come in as a junior and still got the gold jacket.
But I tell you, but it's just like this. I had great people to help me along the way. I high school teammate was my best friend and great guy, Kenny Gilliam. He went to the University of Richmond, but he encouraged me to go out there along with my high school coach, and and things went well. And so my family and everything. So I had a lot of help along the way.
Awesome. Well, you've mentioned a few times now about playing. Mentioned you played for Coach Bear Bryant at Alabama, one of the greatest college football coaches of all time. You mentioned in your speech, Coach Shula playing for him, two of probably the greatest, most recognized football coaches of all time.
Yes.
What was it like to play for both of them, and what did you learn from them?
They taught, playing for Coach Bryant and playing for Coach Don Shula, both of them, they taught me things that I still carry with me today in life. They talk about, again, the same things, a lot of things that we mentioned already: commitment, dedication, hard work, all those kind of things, being committed to something. And they were they were very organized people and stuff. And they, again, it's simple things that they talk about. When you quit on this, you'll quit on something else in life. I can remember that Coach Shula, Coach Bryant would tell a story about when he was a little boy and that sort of thing. So he didn't. And those kind of things stuck with me. But I learned from two great individuals. Two great individuals as people, as a person, as well as a college, as well as a coach. They were great people and stuff.
And again, goes to show these men impacted your entire life, whether it's a coach somebody might not have now in high school, or might be a college coach, professional coach. These are teachers. These are going to be people who have a huge impact on your life, moving forward. So before we wrap up today, obviously playoff time. We got the NFL playoffs starting here this weekend. Is there anything you want to give us a little insight what you see in the NFL today? Is there a team that sticks out to you of, this might be who to watch out for? Whose offensive line are you paying attention to? Give us a little insight from a Hall of Famer on what we should expect from the playoffs this year.
I tell you, you can what is going on in the playoffs and in the National Football League is just amazing and stuff. The popularity is through the roof, which is great. But they also, you got some great teams out there and stuff. And I don't know if I can give you more insight as to who's the best players or the best team is, but I can just tell you who I think has a good chance of winning. And you can guess from that. But I do. Kansas City, I have to look at them again. Those guys, they're winners, and some great teams out there. And it's the National Football League, so every game has to be played. Nobody's guaranteed to win. I'm just telling you now. So, and you see that's football, and especially in the National Football League. So,
I heard a stats this morning. I was watching ESPN, watching Get Up this morning, and they said 40 of the last 46 wild card playoffs, there's been an upset.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you never know what's going to happen.
You got to play the game. Got to play the game.
Now, normally we wouldn't touch on college football, but about an hour down the road, there's going to be a big college football game played tonight between Penn State and Notre Dame. Got to get what are we thinking for the college football playoff?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like you said, the college football playoffs is a great. It's first time they're having the multiple that many teams in it. So Notre Dame does play Penn State, and I got to tell you, I'm partial towards Notre Dame. My son played there, so I'm hoping that Notre Dame wins it. It should be a great game, and the Orange Bowl we're excited about both of those teams being down here and stuff. So it should be a good game, and I hope Notre Dame wins.
Just tonight or the whole thing?
I'd like to see them win the whole thing. Alabama's out of it, so
hoping maybe you would have said the Buckeyes, but that's okay. We're just gonna let that one go by. Again, we want to thank you so much, for being here, talking to the students, having a little bit of fun. But before we wrap up today, got just a couple questions that we want to touch on. Do you have a favorite moment of your NFL career? Obviously, you went through, Nathan referenced it, the Bears won the Super Bowl, went 15-1 in 85. Only loss was to you, your team, not just to you. Made it to a couple Super Bowls, never came out on top. But was there a favorite moment that kind of, when you think about back in your career, that was like, you know what, that's probably my favorite moment from my career?
When we played the Chicago Bears, and we played them back in 1985, and they were riding high and doing well, and we were a pretty good football team. We had a couple of losses, and but something that was very special to the Miami Dolphins, and that is the undefeated season. and they still hold it today, which is very special. But that night, when the Bears, they were riding high, and the Miami Dolphins, we were a pretty good football team. And when we caught them, it was Monday night. I mean, that was like a Super Bowl. I mean, the atmosphere was really, I mean, it was like Super Bowl-like atmosphere. And when we went out there, and Marino's quarterback, and we had Mark Duper and Mark Clayton and Nat Moore, the wide receivers, and offensive line, we had to protect. They had a real good pass rush, but we were able to. It was our job as offensive line to protect the quarterback. And I think that night, no question, things went well for us, and we were able to protect it. But that at the end of the game, when we ran off the field and we ran past the guys there that had retired, like Larry Little had retired, Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, who we just lost, and that 72 team, they had them on the sideline. It was really just a special moment to kind of, hey, we could throw our thumbs in the air like we had won, and we defended what was special to the Miami Dolphins and stuff. So that was a real special moment for me.
And I didn't even think about that. You think about how great the 85 Bears were, and they have this great defense, and you upset them, but I didn't even think about the 72 team being there for the kids who don't know. And obviously, Miami Dolphins, 1972 undefeated season, only one in NFL history. So to walk off the field and see those guys there, I'm sure that had to be super, super special.
That was really cool. That was.
Again, we want to thank you so much for being here today. This is the last question we're going to have, and it's the last question we ask during every program, because I think it's a good way to send everybody back to class, back to the job, whatever it might be. Kind of send them out with that one last point of emphasis. So you've made a lot of great points today, a lot of good advice for our students. If there is one thing they can remember, they forget everything else we talked about. But if there's one thing that they can remember, what's that one thing you want everybody to leave with today?
I mean, first of all, I want to say, I'm going to thank you guys for taking, and ladies, for taking the time to come here today. And I appreciate you guys listening to me and stuff. And I thank you for this nice red and blue hat here. I wear it proudly. But it's something that I guess, that I'd like to leave you with, and that is, that life is going to be a process. There's going to be some good times, and there's going to be some times that are going to be tough. And but that's a process, and it's all going to, the tough times are going to make you better as an individual. You're going to, and it's okay. And some of them you may not do as well at, and that's okay. And then the next time you handle it a little bit better. And then the good times, enjoy those times too, and get better at those times. But life is a process, and you guys feel special. You're special. I mean, you guys can handle it. It's life is fun, and it's a process, and it's going to be some times that. But at the end of the day, you stick to it, and you're going to make it. Life is fun, and football is not the only way. Sports is not the only way. Whatever you decide to do in life, it's going to be that challenge there, but stick with it and you'll make it.
All right. With that, we're going to wrap up this installment of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's Heart of a Hall of Famer series, connected by Extreme Networks. Let's give our guest today, Mr. Stephenson, a big round of applause.
Thank you, guys and ladies.
Again, special thanks to all the students and staff here at Forest Hill for allowing us to host the program here. To all of our students who tuned in, we got another great semester set up for you. I got a bunch of great programming up. We've got guests like Kevin Mawai, Ed Reed when we go down to the Super Bowl. So make sure to tune in, register for those programs. For everybody else, we hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.